What's going on YouTube? Darksword255 here, where the numbers may be randomly generated, but the content itself is not. And today we're doing a guide on it's technically not the newest, but like, you know, everybody's been talking about her, Hilvi right now. Hilvi? I always say her name wrong. We're going to be diving into relics, masteries, where to build her, how to build her, so on and so forth. She is an amazing character. I really hope you guys did go for her. She was really, in my opinion, that good to go for. If you guys saw my video, you would have seen that I also obviously went for the soul for her. Again, so important, especially with champions that are really, I say this in quote, because she is really good, but you know, with champions that are really strong, if they give you the opportunity to go for their souls, you need to go for it. It is such a massive power boost. So what we'll do, guys, in today's video, we are going to go over her kit. Like I said, we're going to do basically everything, different builds, different teams, so on and so forth, guys. So if you haven't already subscribed, I do a bunch of raid content every single day, or, you know, throughout the week. Make sure to join the community, guys. Be a part of my journey. We are trying to ascend the ranks of notoriety within raid, and I would love to have you guys a part of it. Now, I might not be the most knowledgeable person or the greatest at raid, but I am very passionate and I do love this game. To become part of my team, click the link in the description right now to get Elenaril for free, as well as 3 more amazing epic champions as you level up. Here's how you do it. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC and uninstall it. Click the link in the description, register with a brand new email, launch raid, and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on this chance to get a free Elenaril along with 3 epics as you progress through raid. Click on my link right now and let's get started. But nonetheless, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. Alrighty, guys, so I've seen a bunch of different videos talking about Hilvi here. I watched Cruisin's video, which is, I mean, it's hard to watch his video because first of all, I love his content. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've watched, you know, a lot of people's videos on her, but the build, and I'm going to show you also a build today, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But watching, you know, high-end whales or end game accounts, it's hard to put in perspective these champions, right? And say, hey, you know, maybe for like a free-to-play or, you know, a middle of the range account, like, how can I build her? What should I be focusing on? And where should I use her? You know, what should I be trying to do with her? So like I said, we're gonna try to, lack of a better word, dumb it down to really give you guys an understanding of how she works, where to use her kit, so on and so forth. So, you know, let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. Her A1, Frost Flames Torch, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. And the great thing about this video, guys, is I don't have a Torment, which is not great, obviously, but you know, a lot of people don't have Torment. He's a Void Legendary. I don't have him. I pulled for him a lot of different times. I've been playing the game for a long time, still don't have him. So she standalone is worth going for. 100% worth going for, 100% worth having. And like I said, I'm going to show you guys how disgustingly awesome she is. I'm yapping too much, sorry. So we don't have Torment. With Torment, she's exponentially better, but she's still standalone amazing. Her A2 removes all buffs from all enemies and places a freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. If Torment's on the same team, instantly activates his Blizzard Rage, which is like a taunt, which would be nice, you know. This skill cannot be decreased or reset. Lame, but okay. Her A3 revives all allies with a 50% HP and turn meter, places a block on all allies for 1 turn and an increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. Will place these buffs even if nobody is revived. Very important. If no allies were revived by this skill, also fill the turn meters of all allies by 25%. That is a big one. That is a big one. That turn meter boost is monumental. Arbiter, for example, has a 25% boost. So this is exponentially on your team, giving your entire team a massive speed boost. Okay, this skill cannot be reset or decreased. Sad. This is what's also very important. Divine Mission, aka her passive. Whenever an enemy receives a freeze debuff, this champion steals 1 random buff from them, places an HP burn debuff on them for 2 turns, and decreases their turn meter by 10%. And then, you know, if you were lucky and have Torment, if Torment the Cold is on the same team, fill this turn meter by the amount equal to the amount of decrease of the skill, blah, blah, blah. We don't have it. We will be basically just getting the HP burn. She has a 19% speed aura buff. I want to talk about different ways that you kind of want to build her. you really have 2 to 3 different options. You can go with the option that I went, which is have her be a speed meter booster, making her basically as fast as possible. Secondary, if she really needs to have high accuracy, but primary, we're using her for the turn meter boost, primarily for the turn meter boost. So you want her to be fast as possible, right? So mine is 391 speed. Again, that is not like, this is a hard speed to land, as well as also having 500 accuracy, which I could actually make it better. But these are end game, in my opinion, end game, speeds. If you go above 400 speed, you're in the ultra end game. Like 430 plus is like, you are the pinnacle of fast, right? Like you are very fast. I think an honest, realistic number for this, if you don't have the soul, I think maybe 350 speed is obtainable, 400 accuracy for a middle to late game account. I know that my free to play account would be it would be hard, but I could probably get 350. And that's like a free to play account that is built, that has good gear, right? I think that she's worth being one of, if not your fastest on your account, because of her base speed, 110 base speed, very fast organically. So it's worth you building her with that. Now, and this is why I say it depends how you want to use her. There are different areas of the game that she really thrives. Again, I'm personally using her for PvP. There are 2 options in gear, right? My gear, as you can see here, is a whole smorgasbord of different things. Speed. Everything is speed, right? Yeah, trying to make her go as fast as possible. But like I said, let's say that you can get her very fast. Let's say Hilvi, it's like, oh my God, man, I can get her to 360 and she's the fastest on my team, but her accuracy is really low. Then what I would say is you could build her in a 9-piece protection. And again, I'm saying that and people are going to laugh. You're like, dude, that's not like, but you want to basically build your buffs to be protected so they can't be stripped, right? You want her to go first, do her A3 and put that block buff that cannot be stripped, right? Cannot be stripped. Yes, it is for 1 turn, but that is all that you might need to survive a full rotation to go again, right? To then be able to try to land this. But again, if you have low accuracy, whatever. But you're also utilizing your passive here, right? You would basically be building a team to activate this passive, right? Which would be great. Basically, you're pairing her with another freeze champion. Or if you have Torment, But so I would say for like early to mid game accounts, just focus on speed. Accuracy is absolutely important. I have a couple accounts that I've helped do like account takeovers with her, and I've gotten their accounts, and these are beginner accounts. I say beginner, I think I got them to like the 230 speed and 230 accuracy, which for almost all bosses or progressing through the game, 230 accuracy is all you need. So this, the different levels of stuff is what you want to kind of aim for. The 230, as fast as possible with accuracy so she can land. She's not that great against bosses because she cannot, like most bosses are resistant to freeze. If you can't land a freeze, then you can't land the HP burn. But, again, this skill right here, great. I made a team with Hilvi just to try out for Chimera, just basically using her to survive the ram form. It works. It's not a great utilization of her kit. Like, yes, her A1 does put down the block defense, but you're missing out on this is a big ability that you're missing out on. I don't really use her for like bosses. Wave progression, amazing, right? Grim Forest, Curse City, Doom Tower, she's awesome. She's fantastic, right? So those are the 2. Build her either as fast as possible with the best gear or protection gear so you can't get stripped. Very important. Now, so let's talk about relics. There are, I would probably say 3. There are 3 relics that you can go with for Hilvi. I went with a wand because, again, I'm trying to make her as fast as possible. I'm trying to, not basically anti-sheep myself, because you're going to be putting down a lot of, debuffs, freeze, and then the burns from your passive. You get sheeped a lot. Or, if for whatever reason, the enemy goes first and tries to sheep you, well, you can reflect, there's a good chance to reflect it back. So that's why I ended up going with the Wand of Submission for my build. If you want her to be damage, another great option would be the Skull of Treason, obviously. HP burns debuffs placed by the wearer deal 10% more damage to enemies with higher HP. So again, you're building her as fast as possible. Her passive is putting down the HP burn. So basically, you're doing 2 things in one. Also, the great thing about this, obviously this relic, is it gives you accuracy, this is a legendary relic, right? Not everybody has it. So I would say your first two best are a wand as well as Skull of Treason. Secondary, let's say that you're a beginner to middle of the range account, struggling, you're really struggling for accuracy. Now, what can you do to increase your accuracy? Well, what you can do is this beautiful relic right here, the Molten Bell, that gives you a decent amount of accuracy, and you get turn meter boost when applying, you know, all of like the freeze, you know, perfect. So basically you're helping yours, you're giving yourself more accuracy, more turn meter. Awesome, all great things that you want. Molten Bell, if you don't have those two relics, I would say would be the best. Secondary, also the journal is really good, really good. Turn meter effects apply to allies are 15% boosted, so you would have 45. Did I do math right? Maybe no, 40%. Sorry, my math is wrong. 40% out of the gate extra effect. So not bad if you want to use her as a turn meter, but again, your accuracy is low. Up to you. Great options. Again, you know, I went with the high accuracy because then I don't have to worry about it. So high accuracy with her is the runes that I ended up going with. If you want survivability, you can basically have this guy right here, timely intervention. If all your guys are dead, you could basically revive. And if you want to be more tanky, you can go with the resistance. You can also go with, you know, bulwark here, you know, lots of different options. Again, I would say probably if I were to choose, it's going to be Eagle Eye, and then maybe if not, you know, timely intervention. Really great things were lore seal, obviously they boost your stats, you know, basic runes, right? Quickly jumping over to the blessings, but I have intimidating presence because, well, for a couple different reasons, right? There's a bunch of different blessings that you can use on her. I have intimidating presence. You can go with lightning cage if you don't want to get sheeped, or, you know, you're afraid of your buffs being stolen, like, you know, you being crowd controlled. Another great one, if you have a, you know, a 6-star, polymorph is always very good. Oh, also, if you want to use her as a damage dealer, incinerate is great. It would be even better if she was 6-starred, which we're basically right there. If you want her, if I, like, for example, if I wasn't using Volcanos, or if I wasn't using Sulfurion or anybody like that, like right now I have a bunch of different incinerates, so it's kind of a little bit redundant. But basically, if you wanted her to be your damage, having Incinerate would do a lot. Would have it, like I said, in those frost teams that I showed you guys earlier, having Incinerate would be great because you're dealing way more damage, right? And also look at all these stats, guys, having the blessings, plus 75 resistance and accuracy. The crit damage doesn't necessarily matter right here, but like all of these stats are just by having blessings, making her that much easier to build. I have intimidating presence because I'm using her in other teams. I'm using her, for example, like I said, with Carnage as the lead, so it's, you know, getting intimidating presence, you know, with that to help with the speed aura. Using her in Siege, again, boosting the speed aura. I think it's good. Again, you know, it depends on how you are structuring your teams. If you're struggling, then doing that is fine. So guys, I quickly wanted to jump to the arena here and just showcase some different builds that people can kind of build around Helvi. I just realized that my face is in the way. Anyways, okay, so this is better. I have moved. So what's actually a really fantastic pairing if you don't have Tormund, and hopefully you guys went for the fusion. I was advocating for it. I was really saying that you absolutely should go for this fusion. Yurimasa, I think I'm saying his name right, is actually an amazing pair. Amazing pair with Helvi. So let me just quickly go over these teams. We have, you know, a very good speed lead. I put Arbiter in here. Just totally disregard everything else, right? We're just talking about this team building here. Arbiter as the lead. Free to play, like, you know, everybody can get Arbiter very easily. Helvi, obviously, in there. And then now you want to do this. You want to pair this team that you're building for Arena, Tag Team Arena, Lost Siege, or anything along those lines with somebody who's placing freeze. So there are a lot of different champions that are placing freeze. You also need have somebody who is a buff stripper, because while Helvi does buff strip, you want them to go, right? So basically what you want and how you want to have the team set up, you have your speed lead. Your speed lead, Helvi goes first, speeds everybody up, right? Awesome, fantastic. We live, laugh, love that. Then you have your buff stripper go, and we have a bunch of different examples of buff strippers. Madame, buff stripper. Ramatsu, buff stripper. Almighty Ugo, buff stripper. Literally just replace any of these champions with a buff stripper. Anybody that you guys have. It does not have to be these particular champions. That person is stripping the buffs from the enemy, right? So they don't have block buffs. They don't have stone skin, anything. This person is stripping all that. The next person is doing an ability to put freeze down. It can either be a nuke. It could be like an actual freeze. Noelle can do it. You know, you're putting down a freeze. Once that freeze is activated, the HP burn will be activated to the enemy, right? So if for whatever reason your nuker doesn't kill, or there's a, something along those lines, then, Helvi applies that HP burn. And then if you have the Skull Treason on, boom, dead, right? The HP burn will kill the enemy. You're totally manipulating. And that's why I like Yukimasa so much, because look at this, guys. Look at this. Again, I don't have him built or anything here just yet, because I was debating on if I was going to go for his 5-star soul or not. But attacks all enemies, will ignore block damage buffs. Huge. So if they have someone with block damage, you don't care about their elbow. You don't care. Do not care.
We do not care.
Has a 75% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. This buff cannot be resisted if they're, if there's, all this stuff, which this doesn't necessarily, while it is good, it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Revives one, okay, and revives. So like, do you understand the purpose of having him? So instead of having Tormin, right, who's going to be putting freeze, you have a guarantee, you have, like I said, we just went through this fusion. If you guys did the fusion and have Helvi, these two are an amazing pair with each other. They're an amazing pair. He's putting down the freeze right after she turn beater boosts everybody and puts the block buffs down, increasing speed on him. And then his A2 attacks all enemies after you've already stripped all the buffs. They're frozen, HP burn. You could even go back another rotation and hit them again, hit them again, hit them again. And you're just doing that over and over. It's a very accessible team. If you've been playing the game for a while, you should have a Noel. You can get Sir Nicholas by having duplicates, or if you can, you can also pull him. I really like this particular team. The only downside, the Sir Nick team that I have highlighted here, is that you don't have a buff strip, right? So while it's good, it could be better. That's why I like some of these other options. Some of these other options here. Your Carl is great because, again, he hits really, really hard, and his A3 puts down, look at this, bam, and turn meter. So if for whatever reason you don't kill them, you lower the turn meter, you have a Helvi, put the HP burns, she's putting, so it's all paired really, really well. Very easy, accessible team, right? That we have built here. This is probably the most accessible, right? So like some really easy teams. Now I have been using this absolutely disgusting team right here, right? Now, the Carnage can be replaced with another demon. And I want to showcase how absolutely disgusting this team is. I've been using Helvi in live arena so much with HP burn champions. All right, so I want to showcase this team here. We're going to fight somebody who's a little bit difficult. This is going to be a hard team-ish, but I want to showcase kind of like how the team is supposed to work. Well, this is going to be hard because of Tormin. This is like the blessed team here. Boom. So basically what we're trying to do with the design, I guess, Helvi's right here where my face is. She's right here, right? So the design of this is like Helvi goes first. She does the turn meter boost, right? HP burns go down from Volcanos. Look at that, how much damage this is doing. It's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Ooh, okay, she stole it. Oh, we're just doing, oh my God, we just so many. Because she has sheep. Whatever. Cool. I torn. And now this is just going to be a bunch of back and forth. I probably should, this was a mismanagement on my end. I needed to kill Helvi. That's my bad, honestly. You can kind of see the design of this team. We're basically applying a bunch of HP burns. And we're having Sulfurion activate them. We are having Volcanos, his passive, activate them. Basically teams that are heavily, ooh, yay, yippee, I bring everybody back, but they got frozen. Basically the design of this team is have the HP burns kill. This is a pretty good go second team. It still needs to be worked on a little bit. This is just, like I said, how I have her, because again, you can have her in different masteries. Okay, we're dead. We don't have Torment. I messed up. I would have won off the cusp if I killed Helvi, but I was a big stinky doo-doo head and just did not kill her. But you guys get the under, like if you have a Sulfurion, like again, there's burn teams you can use with her. There are frost teams that you can use it with her. That was a little bit of a blunder on my end. I wish that live arena was open, guys, so I could kind of showcase me utilizing her. But as you can see here, like I've been doing a lot of game testing with her. Obviously this is with like my burn team, or just kind of like in general, I really like her, but as you can see, like I win a lot of, like I only lost 3 rounds. I lost 3 rounds with her. Nobody's using her right now. Like if you are in gold arena, like gold live arena, just like drop her like at the start. People aren't using her. People aren't using her. So she's a great champion, guys. I hope that this video was helpful. If you have not already, subscribe, guys. Make sure to subscribe for more content similar to this, and I will see everybody in the next one.